Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. We're going to talk about who Thomas might end up with once he's back in LA. Since Hope Logan, Annika Noel, juggling two men already. Thomas is back on screen this September, just a few weeks away. But so far, we still don't know if his return is going to be a quick in and out that's going to upset fans because it's just a drive by for closure purposes, or maybe, hopefully, Matthew Atkinson is sticking around for a while. So far, it looks like Diamond White is not back as Paris Buckingham. She's busy with tons of other projects. Last we saw Thomas and Paris, they were engaged and making wedding plans, but all that could have changed by now. Still, we have to mention that Thomas may come back. Maybe he's still with Paris, they're still engaged, and they return to get married. Perhaps Thomas is back to get hitched to Paris at Eric Forrester's John M.C. Cook mansion as they made plans for, I think, a year ago, last summer. But if they do have Thomas back to marry Paris and run off with her and Douglas Forrester, Henry Joseph Samiri, with their happily ever after, I'm guessing Bold is going to be dealing with a lot of angry fans because they've made such a big deal out of Matthew Atkinson's return. So, assuming Thomas is staying and is not getting married to Paris, I want to talk about options for his love life. One of them could be Ivy Forrester, Ashley Brewer. Yes, Thomas and Ivy share the same last name, but they are not related. There is not one drop of blood shared between them. Ivy is related to Eric Forrester, but Thomas is not because he is actually a Maroon by blood. So it is a possibility on Bold. In fact, back in the Pearson Foe days when he was playing Thomas, there was a little flirtation and some smooching between Ivy and Thomas. As Thomas returns, we're going to see Ivy dealing with rejection. She really wanted to get back with Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton. But when Ivy told Liam that she still cares about him, Liam very nicely, very gently rejected Ivy. He told her Hope is the woman that he wants. So that means Ivy should be available when Thomas gets back to town. They might reconnect and find love this time around. Next, we've obviously got to talk about Hope, even though, as I said, she's got her hands full. She's engaged to Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor, but Liam also wants Hope, Annika Noel, back with him, presumably to get remarried. When Thomas returns, that could be a game changer for Hope. Right now, she's torn between Carter and Liam. But when Hope sees Thomas is back, all those really strong feelings Hope had for Thomas could come rushing back. Hope really loved Thomas, and what they had was real. It was intense. She said no man had ever made her feel that way. Even though Hope reminded Liam that she's engaged to Carter when he was making a play for her, when Hope sees Thomas, she might forget about that ring on her finger. She certainly forgot about Liam's ring on her finger. And they were actually married. So Carter and Liam could both wind up dumped, and Hope runs back into her ex's arms. The last time Thomas was in LA, Hope still wanted him, and she was asking him to break up with Paris and choose her. So those feelings are there. But in case Hope sticks with one or both of the guys that are pursuing her right now, another option for Thomas is that Bold and the beautiful could bring back Paris's sister, Zoe Buckingham, Kiara Barnes. If you remember, she was name dropped recently by Grace Buckingham, Cassandra Creech. So you never know. Thomas actually dated Zoe before. In fact, Thomas was even engaged to Zoe. But it wasn't real for him. Thomas was using Zoe to try and trick and gaslight Hope into being with him. Then, at Thomas and Zoe's wedding, it all blew up in Thomas's face. Hope and Zoe both let him have it. And he was exposed. But maybe Thomas apologizes. He makes things right. And ironically, Zoe winds up back under his spell. If Bold wants to go with someone totally new for Thomas, they could always pair him with Lainey, Heidi Grace Engerman, the girl who works at Forrester Creations that we are seeing a lot of lately. She was the girl that was super flirty with Will Spencer, Crumoro, at the El Giardino party. But then he made it clear he only wants Electra Forrester, Linnea Grace. So Lainey wound up partying and hanging out with Zen Forrester Dominguez, Dylan D. Metz. But Thomas is a hunky hunk, so when he swims back into town, Lainey might say, Zen who? If she even really has an interest in Zen, because I think that was just a casual hang. So Lainey might spark with Thomas. Another twisty new thing for him could be if Thomas decides to do what all Forrester men do and double dip in the Logan waters. I'm not talking about Hope. Several Forrester men have been with more than one Hope Logan type woman, so why not Thomas? He could give Dr. Bridget Forrester, Ashley Jones, a go, which would be interesting because Hope might get really jealous if Thomas started dating her big sister. That could start some big drama. Bridget lost her husband to her mom, Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, for a while. Imagine if Bridget then lost her boyfriend to her sister Hope. That would be fun stuff. Last but not least, if Bold and the Beautiful really wants to go somewhere dark and twisted and weird, there's always Luna Nozawa, Lisa Yamada. We know that she really wants Will, but there's no way in heck that Luna is going to get to be with him in the long run. Will loves Elektra and he despises Luna. Will's going to hate her even more when he finds out she took advantage of him while he was drunk. We all know, of course, Thomas used to be quite the bad boy back in the day. He was dark. So if they find a way to redeem Luna, at least enough to where she's free to walk around LA, maybe she and Thomas get a spicy romance going. I would hope not, though, but I have to mention it. Luna does need a good influence in her life, and Thomas has come out of serious darkness and become a much better man. So he could be part of her redemption story like Deacon Sharp. Sean Kanan was part of Sheila's Kimberlyn Brown redemption story. Although I'm not sure anything can truly redeem Luna, maybe Thomas could try. Love can change people, maybe even Luna. I do think Will would prefer Luna to date Thomas and forget about him. Even Grandma's Lee Finnegan, Naomi Matsuda, and Sheila would prefer Luna with Thomas than with her continuing to stalk and target and prey on Will. Worst case scenario, if Thomas comes back hoping for a reunion with Hope and then she turns him down, Thomas could always pull Mannequin Hope out of storage and hang her around his place. I would hope not, because he had a serious brain injury when that was happening. What I'm really hoping for is Thomas comes back to stay and he finds a real love, not with Luna, not with Lainey, not with Bridget, Paris, or Zoe. I'd like to see Thomas back with Hope, but there's already a line forming at her door with Carter and Liam right there. But maybe Thomas could cut to the front of that line. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay with us.